I announced my resignation back in November, mostly family reasons, but honestly, I just couldn't sit on the sidelines anymore after seeing the Prime Minister's ambitious agenda across the country and across the world. And quite honestly, it was your Davos speech where you took everything head on. That's when I thought of the money.
The Carney curse is real. Mexico is on fire, literally, and CBC is taking making things up always to a whole new level. It's the first day back in the House of Commons after last week MPs had the week off. More outrageous claims, new scandals, and guess who did not show up to work? Let's get into this report. Before I start my report today, I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you. I started my channel less than a year ago and I'm at 55,000 subscribers. I would not be making any of my crucial reports if it weren't for all of you. So I want to say I love you all. Thank you so much for the support. Let's go. Doug Ford made his way onto CNN today, and of course he says all of Canada is supporting the Democrats today. That is like saying that all of Canadians are supporting the Liberals today. Doug Ford is a Liberal.
And there's going to be the midterms. I've never seen so many Canadians all cheering on the Democrats. And there's, I think there's 33 Senate seats up for grabs, 20 of them are Republican, but we saw what happened in Congress. We saw what happened in the Supreme Court. The walls are closing in, I believe, on President Trump right now, and he's feeling the pressure. So a lot of these jobs are border states that are being affected, and he needs those seats. So if it continues on, people are gonna be unemployed, and which will affect the midterms.
All I have to say to Doug Ford is he says the walls are closing in on Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the United States GDP per capita is over $90,000. Canada's $55,000 and Alabama, one of the worst states, is $66,000. If this is Trump collapsing, what exactly are we doing? The Globe and Mail has come out and said, out of nowhere, Canada has become poorer than the state of Alabama. How is that possible? So I did this picture just out of nowhere. And out of nowhere, Carney curse continues. As the National Roast has posted, the Carney curse, a part of Canadian history, Canadian Heritage Minute. For the rest of time, Carney will be known for the Carney curse. What is the Carney curse? Every single time Mark Carney has showed up and taken a photo and encouraged our athletes to do a good job and win that championship for Canadians, the team ended up losing. Or the Toronto Blue Jays, Mark Carney's seen taking photos with the team and encouraging them to win, and the Carney curse continues. The Blue Jays ended up losing. I just covered the Stanley Cup, the World Series, and then the Olympic hockey team for the women, and then the Olympic hockey team for the men. Yes, the Carney curse exists, and this is proof. Oh, and let's not forget the women's rugby team. Remember when he went to the UK and took some photos with the women's rugby team? Yeah, they ended up losing that one as well. Everything that Mark Carney touches turns into a loss. I think it's time, if you're a Liberal or conservative, any Canadian, just say, you know what, Mark Carney, stay away from our sporting teams because it's just going to turn into ashes. Mark Carney got absolutely roasted by the Americans. Congressman Randy Fine wrote on his social media account, "Congratulations, Governor." Oh, this is incredible. Just wait till I show you what Donald Trump did, because Mark Carney did the elbows up or skates on the ice. Everything he says is a reference to hockey. And Carney's always said Canada's #1 hockey. And now we've lost that. Donald Trump took his trolling level to 1,000 because he knows how much Canadians and Mark Carney love their hockey. So he published on his Truth Social him single-handedly beating Team Canada at the Olympics. Check this video out. Oh, and by the way, all the lefties across Canada are furious at Donald Trump's post. Donald Trump scores the goal. Look at him take out Team Canada. You know, you have to admit, it is kind of funny. You shouldn't get triggered over a meme video, but the lefties across this country are upset about this. They're saying that Donald Trump is out of control with his videos, but I don't know this part. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is acceptable, but hey, Donald Trump takes trolling to the next level. The video is pretty funny, I have to admit. There's Donald Trump scoring the game-winning goal. The trolling didn't end there. The White House actually published a picture of the eagle taking out the Canada goose. And part of this post was Justin Trudeau, you can't take our country and you can't take our game. Now that is trolling. I think it's time to bring back Stephen Harper. This is Team Canada with a gold medal under Stephen Harper as Prime Minister. It might not just be a Carney curse, because under the Liberals, we received 0 gold for the Olympics men's hockey team, but under Conservatives, we got 2 Olympic gold medals. There's a lot of people out there that say that Canada was doomed before the game even started. In order to make Canadians feel a little bit better, here we have the Toronto Herald that wrote, Canadian Olympic hockey team brings back silver medal to a home country that has healthcare and a stable democracy. You can't make any of this stuff up. Now on to Puerto Vallarta. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. How do I know that? It's because since I was a little kid, I've gone to Puerto Vallarta every single year of my life. Last year I went for 2 weeks. And over the course of my life, I've been to Puerto Vallarta over 30 times. And over the course of my life, I actually feel safer. That's right, safer in Puerto Vallarta than some places in Canada in the lower mainland. You don't see downtown east side in Mexico. No one is using anything. At least you can't see it. The people there are friendly. The food is absolutely delicious. And the weather is great year round. A little warm in the summer, but all year it's beautiful weather. I've been there in December and the temperature was around 27 Celsius and I didn't see a cloud in the sky the entire time. What happened 2 days ago comes at complete shock. Even the Canadian government was caught off guard. They had no idea that the Mexican government was going to move forwards with the action they took. A once beautiful tourist city turned into a black plume of smoke. Here's a video of what it looked like from the back of a boat looking back at Puerto Vallarta. Just a plume of black smoke. If you want to see all of the details, like I've published so many videos on my Twitter X account, go over there, you'll be able to see everything. I can't publish this stuff on YouTube, but the cartel, they hit up a bunch of gas stations and sent them ablaze. Check this out. Boom. Dan Dix here, a Canadian independent reporter for Press for Truth, was in Puerto Vallarta for a conference, and he was on the ground and he was able to report true journalism. I'm going to show you a little bit of the clip of Dan. I'm going to put a link so you can see all of his content. He did a fantastic job covering this story. By the way, he is extremely courageous. I'd be in my hotel room putting the couch and everything I got against the door, but he's out in the open and yeah, check it out.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Just had the military driving past me, and as I understand it, I should not be around anywhere where the police or the military are, because they are the target right now. As you can see, this whole place is like deserted right now because there's burning cars back there, burning cars right here still smoldering, and the situation is incredibly intense. As I'm sure you've already heard, there was a top Lord cartel member, El Mencho, who has been killed. I believe there was a $15 million bounty on this man's head, and he is now, and that has caused this whole situation to pop off. The place looks like an absolute war zone right now, folks. Cartel has been setting up blockades in the streets, stopping cars. A whole bus was set on fire. You've got cartel members who literally look like the military. These guys are serious. These guys mean business. Costco was set on fire. A hospital was under attack. People running for their lives. There was the Guadalajara airport that was under attack. People literally running all over the place, screaming and crying. The Puerto Vallarta airport as well has had a big scare. A lot of people were evacuated on the tarmac, had to run out on the...
That's it I have for Dan. I'm going to leave a link to this video, and then you can find all his other videos. He's still stuck in Puerto Vallarta because nobody could leave Puerto Vallarta. I heard there are some flights that started today, so hopefully Dan can get on one of those. But there's nobody leaving. So you know what the hotels did? They jacked up the prices because they know that nobody could leave. How wrong is that? Anyway, it looks like he's still there. He's reporting on the ground. Let's hear from our Canadian government on the situation. By the way, his reporting is absolutely fantastic. You will not see any of this stuff on mainstream media. The only person in our government talking about the situation in Mexico is Anita Anand. She provided this statement saying Canada's monitoring the situation very closely as it's rapidly deteriorating in Mexico, including Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta. A little bit more information here, but then she says the safety and security of Canadians abroad remain our highest priority. That's why what they're doing is updating the travel advisory. That's what they're doing. And they're partnering with global affair officials that are in close contact with local authorities and partners and stand ready to provide counselor assistance to Canadians in the region. That's it. There's no planes flying in there to pull people out. Just a statement that we care about you. And here is Mark Carney's official statement on Mexico. This is from the leader that says, avoid the United States and favor Mexico for your vacation. Absolutely nothing from our prime minister. Mainstream media's outrageous claims. Western Standard is not a left-wing newspaper. However, all of the polling agencies, they're coming out with some wild polls. Check out this title. Exclusive poll, Carney Liberals on the heels of Conservatives in Alberta, with Conservatives only a 3-point lead in the most conservative province in Canada. Do you believe this, Canada? That's what's coming out of mainstream media these days. What about this headline? Public trust in Canada's institutions is rising in the face of U.S. hostility. Do you feel more faith in healthcare? What about immigration or our police services? There are some fantastic police. However, crime is not under control. What exactly is rising in the face of U.S. hostility? I just don't get it. As Canada Roast here says, I don't believe you. Or trust in CTV is at an all-time low. Most of the people are like, we're not believing these headlines. I don't know what you're talking about. Or fake news. I mean, all of it is the same. That's what I'm saying. Mainstream media has completely lost it. Mainstream media is making everything up always to the whole new level. Check this out. The outrage directed at General from the Conservative Leaders Caucus and their endorsed base of social media influencers is symptomatic of a bad relationship that needed to end. They're actually blaming people like me for Matt General crossing the floor. CTV can't be for real. I'm just a public person providing real news to all of you. I have nothing to do with the party. I'm not a spokesperson of the party. I don't get paid by the party. So for them to wrap me up in floor crossing information, this is just proof that we can't trust anything that comes out in the newspapers. Heather McPherson. And for the people that don't know who this is, she's a candidate trying to be the NDP leader, replacing Jagmeet Singh. She made a massive error on her social media account, 2.5 million views and only 455 likes and 5,700 comments. That is called a ratio. When nobody likes what you said, but everybody leaves a comment, you could only imagine what is being said in the comment section. The reason that things are exploding for her is many Canadians, especially members of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, are in Puerto Vallarta, where violence has quickly escalated. A shelter-in-place order is in effect. Please stay vigilant and consult the government of Canada for travel advisory. I don't know about you, but all Canadians need to be kept safe, not a specific group. We want them to be safe, but all Canadians. So Canadians are furious. Is this appropriate during a time of crisis to point out one group out of all the other groups? Well, it completely blew up on her. So the National Post posted why the NDP hopeful is tweeting about this community amid Puerto Vallarta chaos. And the part of the story that is so surprising is she has yet to take it down off her social media account. Actually, this was from yesterday. Let's see how many views she has right now. Yeah, she hasn't taken it down. It's at 2.8 million views. She got 23 more likes with all those 300,000 more views. And there's an additional 500 comments since yesterday. With 5,700 comments, I can't go through all of them. I got AI to do a search for me. I said, any comments from the community? And it says, yes, there are. Well, let's read those comments from the community and see how they received her message. It says, yes, a handful of self-identified members of the community, mostly men, have replied to Heather McPherson's post. Their comments are uniformly critical of the especially members of the community phrasing, viewing it as unnecessary identity politics during an active safety crisis, politicizing the advisory, or misrepresenting them. No supportive or appreciative comments from the community appeared in the targeted search or replies. Not even one out of 5,700 comments was of support of what she said from the community. Let's read a couple of these. Well, the first one I can't read, but I'll just read one part of it. It says, you should be embarrassed and ashamed. People like you is what's wrong with Canada. Or Donald here says, you know what I like as a gay man? Politicians stop using the community as a tool. The fact that you try to single out the community in this makes no sense. All people there should be watching their backs. And that's what I said. When I read it, I said, what about all the rest of the people? This doesn't make any sense at all. Or Albergraf says, as a gay man, stop making it about yourself. Do you sometimes hear yourself? Because it's absolutely nauseating. I don't have to read the rest of them, but you could get the gist. She's trying to drum up support for the community and it backfired on her face. They need to stop doing this. I'm hopeful she reads all 5,700 comments, but for her not to delete it, that makes zero sense. If she wants to be the leader of the NDP party, she needs to hire a communications rep to fix this for her. What's wrong with Canada? In one chart, Canada has a huge problem with a bloated public sector. Around 25% of the working class works for the government, with some provinces seeing above 30%. You know, it takes 4 private sector jobs to pay for one public sector job. We have way too many public sector jobs. That needs to change if we're going to have a prosperous country. No wonder our GDP per capita has been flat for the past decade. NDP hopefuls square off on an English debate on Thursday. The NDP party is straight up finished. I mean, these are the possible candidates. I just showed you the one. She won't even delete her tweet. The guy in the hat seems like a nice guy. I love the hat, but he says that he's going to govern through translators, only translators, because he speaks zero French, and said, that's fine. We'll just have translators. He obviously doesn't understand that that's not going to fly in Quebec. This guy wants heat pumps for every single Canadian and government-run grocery stores. I'm sure that would run just perfectly. Just look at Cuba. I don't even know who the other two are. They're probably going to lose as well. Another day, another church has burned down in Canada. This time, the historic Church of St. Paul's in Montreal. This is a historic church. It has now turned into rubble. There's over 100 churches that have burned down in Canada since the Liberals took power. Unfortunately, this trend continues. We don't know the cause of fire. We don't know if it was electrical or just an old building, but the numbers across Canada continue to go up. So something is going on with our churches. Chris D'Entremont was spotted in the House of Commons yesterday. Check out his face. What happened? He used to have a smile on his face. He has turned into this. Chris D'Entremont, when he was a conservative, had a beautiful smile, but once he betrayed his constituents, was it worth it? Was it really worth it, Chris? Well, if you take a look, he has now become Mark Carney. They are the same now. This is called the Carney resting face. Now, the House of Commons outlandish claims. Gary here says Canada's immigration system is the absolute most robust, the gold standard of the world. Canada will continue to be #1 in asylum protection on the planet.
For la question, Mr. Speaker, let me be very clear. Canada has one of the most robust immigration refugee protection system in the world. The Immigration Refugee Board is the gold standard by which adjudication are made towards refugee protection. As a country that is a signatory to the Refugee Convention of 1951, it's important that we have full faith in our system, Mr. Speaker. The IRB does adjudicate and ensures that those who are inadmissible, those who are ineligible to seek asylum, do not go forward, and those who are deemed to be clear refugees do get asylum, Mr. Merci pour la question, Mr. Speaker.
The problem is, Gary, we have 300,000 people in Canada claiming asylum, and 89,000 have been rejected. Have they left, Gary? Nope. They're still in Canada. Some of them have been rejected 4 years ago, and they're still getting free health care and rejected as asylum claimants. We've only deported 22,000 last year, a fraction of the amount that's here. So we are not the gold standard of the world. We're not treating Canadian citizens with compassion, because we have to fork the bill for this, Gary. What do you think about Gary's statement in the House of Commons? That's it for today's report. Does the Carney curse exist? He's shooting 100% right now. I'm telling you, he needs to stay away from our sporting teams. Just give them a chance. Let's pray for everybody in Mexico, for the Mexicans and all the Canadians that are stranded there. The situation is improving, but let's just pray that everybody comes home safely. What do you think about mainstream media? It seems like they're getting more unhinged by the day. And is it just me, but the Liberals always claim that they're doing the absolute best. Best economy in the G7, fastest growing wages. We're living in a euphoria. Our immigration system is absolutely gold standard and perfect. All we have to do is open our eyes and see what's happening in real life. And we're like, what exactly are they talking about? I can't wait to provide all of you my reports. I work hard to make sure that you guys get the truth. I'll see you on the next report.